Let's start with the implementation. To begin with, we should have the input folders and files available with us. If I just move on the project folder, I don't have them available. Just go to the description below and download the zip file available to you. Once downloaded, you will have all these folders available in that. One is input folder, where you have a lot of other folders and into which there are other files available with different extensions. And output folder and zip folder will be empty because we don't have the data into them right now. Just copy this folders, Ctrl C, and paste them into your project folder. Then move back to your project. So back to the UiPath project, just refresh it. You have the folders available with you right now. As a first step, use main.xaml, and because we want all these folders accessible, I will just use assign activities and create a variable called input folder, enter, and then here input folder. So that, right, so if there is change into the folder's name, then I have to just change right here and it will reflect all over the project. For a best practice, you have to give whatever the name you have right there here too. So similar to input folder, I have created two more variables called output folder and zip folder. When I just create it by using Ctrl K, they are created over here. Okay, so all of those are of type string. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to get those files available in input folder and the other folders available into it. To do that, we can take the help of for each. For each, and here you have to change the type to string, and the method or the code snippet that you have to use to get the directories available in input folder is directory dot get directories. So this will give you all the folders available in input folder. Just pass the variable called control space and you will get all the available properties, methods, and the variables. You can just select your input folder and click tab. So this will give you all the folders available. You can also rename this according to you. You can use folder here, and then because right now we have the folders, we have to get the files available in them. So if you see at the structure, we are into this and we have got all these folder names available to us, but still we have to get the files available in this folder 1 and then folder 2 and then folder 3. To do that, let's go back to the code. So right here we will take another for each, and then again control space directory dot, this time it would be get files, and then get files from which folder, so it would be folder. So this is this, right? So this time you have that folder 1 in this, so this we are trying to pass to this so that we'll get the files available in it. With that said, this also you can change the default name to file so that it's more readable, and then okay, just give it as name, and I'll take another message box and say folder. If I try to execute this, now you can see it's able to retrieve the folders and then we are digging deeper into the files available in it. So the folder 1 contains all these files into it. So then folder 2, similar to that we have folder 3 and folder 4. So we are successfully able to get those files in here. Once that is done, the next task is to move this particular files into output folder, and that too into a folder which have the extension name in it. To do that, we have an activity called move. If I just scroll down, where is the activity? I have to copy this, and right here there are two properties that we have to pass. One is path of the file and the other is the destination. Right here I'm passing the file, which is the path of that particular file, and then in 2 I have to pass the whole folder path, okay, where I have to move this particular file to. So I have to move this file to output folder, and then inside that particular extension name folder, right? To do that, just use a method available in .NET. If you just click Control space and type path and tab dot combine, then here you can just pass on that particular variable output path plus, again, to get the extension of the file name, we have a method called path dot get extension, and then the file, and then I'm using something right here called substring of 1. Do let me know why I have used this in the comments. Okay, once that is done, I will just use overwrite and then run the bot once. If you can see, we were able to fetch the folder 1, and then from that ms access 1. So it has gone to the second and third. Let's go back to the folder and see if we are able to move that to that particular folder. So I'm back to the project folder. If I just go to output folder, I can see there are no folders with these names. Okay, that it is directly creating those particular files here. Okay, so there's something wrong right here, so we have to correct it. Go back to your code, just stop this. So this is happening because we don't have a folder available there, and then we are trying to move this particular file to over there. Just to avoid that, first create a file there. Okay, to do that, first check if that particular folder exists, and if it doesn't, just create it. To do that, we can use path exist. Here we are checking if folder exists, so this, and pass this thing to this, and the output of this is boolean. Just create variable called exists and take a if condition, drag it right here, pass this condition to this, which was exist, and then if this exists, if it is true, then don't create a folder. If it is wrong, then create a folder. To create a folder, you can just search for create folder, just drag it, and you have to create a folder with this name. That's done. So let me try to run it once again. If I do that, now I have the folder 1 with me, and this is the file that I have there. You can see, okay, it was docs, so it has created a folder with docs, and the file is right here. Okay, and then it has gone to the folder 2. Here we have BMP, so with our expectations, it should create a BMP folder and then move that file to there. But see, Yeah, so we haven't deleted that particular file name, so we have to delete those first. Okay, stop that and go back to that particular folder that we right here and delete all this junk files. So now they should work completely fine. Back to the file, and we are done with the functionality of where we have to move the files to their respective folders. Once that is done, the next task that we have to do is we have to move all the folders available in output folder to the zip folder as a .zip extension. To achieve that, we can use for each activity, just change the type to string, and then we have to get the folders from directory dot get directories. The path would be output. So this is where we are going to get the folders from. Once we get that, we have to actually convert them to .zip file. To do that, just go to manage packages, all packages, and you can use some available custom activities, okay, to achieve that. Okay. So here I can just go back to this. Yeah, so right now I'm using this activity. You can also use other alternatives to do this. Once that is installed, I should have it available right here. Zip. Yeah, I have to drag it and see there are different inputs that this particular activity expects. First thing is folder or file paths. Okay, so it's an array. So right now for me, the thing that I have to pass is item, right? So this is the item that I want to pass as an input, and then zip file. So what should be the name of the zip file or where it should go? For that, I will use path dot combine, and here I will just pass zip folder that we have defined earlier at the initialization, and then here item dot split. Why am I using split? Because whatever path that I have in item is the total path. Okay, it's like output space folder backslash then whatever extension it is. Okay, it can be ppt or it can be xlsx. So for that, I want to get the last part of it. So it's here, and I'm just converting it to char, and then I'm taking the second occurrence of the full path. This should give me the last part of that particular path, and then I have to append .zip to it because we want it to be in zip type. Then click on OK. So once that is done, if I just execute it, so there are different folders available. Just click on OK. Yeah, let me go back to the folders. So there are this output folders in which there are files, and then in zip folder we have the .zip extension files, okay, which will contain this data. So that's what we were expecting to happen when we execute the code. So back to the code, we have moved the files and we have zipped them. So the next task is to email them. Okay, to do that, again we will take the help of for each activity. So because I'm trying to explain you, I'm trying to use this many for each, but in real time we don't use this many. Okay, we have to optimize the code. Okay, I will just copy this and paste this, but this time the files that we have to send will be taken from .zip folder. Sorry, I'm just copying this. Okay, copy is not working, so directory dot get files from zip folder. Okay, change the type to string. Yeah, so once this is done, okay, we have to be sending emails to the people, right? Just use this activity to send the email. Okay, there are a lot of other requirements that this will ask for. Before that, before you move on to this, we need few details, like to whom to send, and then from which email ID to send, and their password. To get those things, we can take the help of input dialog box. Is the activity, just drag 3 activities. One is to get the email from which we have to send, and another is to get the password of that, and the third one is to whom to send. Okay, here you can send your email ID, your password to email address. Yeah, so we have to save them into some variables. Control K, username, and then create a variable right here. This is for password, and this is for to mail. Just place these details into this. So email ID will go here, username basically, the password will go here, and then in the to we will send to. Once that is done, we are left with few more details like port number and the other details. So the other details that we have to give is the port number. For SMTP it's 587, and then the server will be smtp.gmail.com. Once that is done, let us give a sub body to it. It can be test body, and subject. For us, the requirement was we should send that particular file name in the subject. To do that, we have to say item will give us that particular item, which will have the full path, dot get, we can use path dot get file name without extension. Okay, and then we have to pass that particular item to it. So this will give us that particular name, the folder name, the file name basically. With this, we are done with that. So once that is done, there are few settings that you have to enable in your Gmail to send emails. So when you just open your Gmail settings, okay, under security, you will have something called less secure app access. This should be always on for your bot to send out emails. Okay, though it's not recommended, you have to have it on for your bot to send emails. Okay, just make sure that it's turned on. So coming back to the code, we have everything already ready over here. So when we just run it, we expect that we will receive emails. Here I have just skipped the password part. Okay, I have just entered it so that you people can't see it. And then to whom I have to send it. I have to send it to Sharad Kumar Raju @gmail.com and click on OK. So this should send out an emails to that particular Gmail. It will take some time So once you run that, right, so we'll be receiving emails with this kind of messages. The body will be test body and the subject will be whatever extension that is, like this, and you have the attachment into it. So with this we have completed the challenge. Hope you have found it helpful, because I try to make as many mistakes as possible right here so that I can show you how you can handle them. So because as a developer, it's always expected that you will find a lot of new issues whenever you try to implement something new. So we try to involve as many errors as we can in this challenges whenever we try to explain them. So though if we miss out something and you face something new kind of errors, you can just let us know through the comments, and do let us know if you want to learn something new, okay, any concepts that you are trying to learn, and if you didn't get any tutorials or any materials out there, we would be really happy to explain those to you. Thanks, and more challenges are yet to come. Enjoy. Thanks. Bye.